Hey there, planetary kin, and welcome to the Blue Storm Wavespell. Today is Thursday, the 18th November in the archaic calendar of Gregorian time, and in the 13 moon calendar, it is day 4 of the overtoned moon Kali. If you want to know more about what that means in the 13 moon calendar, just very easy Google 13 moon calendar. There's even websites of that name, or go to lawoftime.org, which is our mother site. So I just did a live on Instagram, sharing the story of the blue storm wave spell, which we're beginning today for 13 days, but for some reason it didn't want to upload, so I'm doing it here. Today's the very first, I'm the very first presenter on what is called the Noospheric constant 79, which is on Instagram, and it's I think it's a 48-hour, as the blue magnetic storm goes from, you know, the where we begin here in New Zealand, the timeline, through to South America tomorrow, which will be our lunar sun, our next day, but will still be their blue magnetic storm. So I shared, so first of all, I'd like to thank all the people that have organized the Law of Time in South America, who have organized this Noospheric constant conference, which is where calendar kin of the 13 moon calendar and the Mayan dream spell calendar and the Zolkin that comes from Palenque will be sharing codes of the times we're in. And the messages that each of the kin, you know, that work with the codes and have been exploring them in their own lives over many years, what comes through each being uniquely. And for me, how I'm going to be sharing about the blue storm wave spell, and I'm going to be doing that through a story. So the story simply traces the 13 kins of the blue storm wave spell, and I've written it into story some years ago, and I was rereading it today and feeling like actually that's a really good way to share the blue storm wave spell that we're entering today, from the 18th to the 30th of November, a time of change, blue storm. The words for blue storm is catalyzing self-generation energy, so a time of change. We've just come out of the World Bridger wave spell, which was a surrendering, a letting go, a connecting with many different worlds, in order to prepare ourselves for this change, to let go of rigidity, to surrender. One of the words for World Bridger is death, to let go what no longer serves, so that we are less rigid and able to be changed in this storm cycle, to be the calm in the center of the storm as change happens around us. So if that's not happening for you and it's becoming too chaotic, just keep letting go, and then you'll come into the center. So anyway, I'm going to read the story of the blue storm wave spell, and this is a story that may be occurring in these next 13 days. So I will begin. So blue magnetic storm, the first day of this cycle, and this is a story of a child. So the wild child, hell-bent on change because all that he could see made no sense to him. The more he saw and felt, the more alien he felt. There was nowhere he could rest. Nothing felt okay. Nothing sang him up as a being. Just one moment, I'll just... Hello, sorry, can you call back in a wee while? Thank you. Okay, back in. Excuse that. So I'll begin again. The wild child, hell-bent on change because all that he could see made no sense to him. The more he saw and felt, the more alien he felt. There was nowhere he could rest. Nothing felt okay. Nothing sang him up as a being. He felt like an alien in an alien world, surrounded by energy rushing through him and around him that would not rest. He was in the center of the storm, chaos personified. And that's representative of the first day of the storm cycle. Just one moment. Number 2, yellow lunar sun. The only thing he could do to get any rest was to be outside in the sunlight. Indeed, when he allowed the sun to go deep into his bones was the only time he enjoyed being in his body. So he would fill his body with the light and heat of the sun and feel grounded here on earth, and all would be good. But then he would have to go back inside his home, and again the energetic chaos would drive him crazy, and he would have to choose to detach from it and go outside and receive the light again. This became the pattern of his life, where he was forever having to deal with energy that felt unreal and stuck as it was wrapped up in cultural thought forms that reeked of denial. And so he chose to be independent early on, for if he didn't, craziness was definitely his to own. Number 3, red electric dragon guided by the serpent. At this point, survival became his teacher, as he learned how to respond to his instincts, finding them to be his best guide, teaching him a deep ability to respond to the moment and be more available for whatever life threw at him. Number 4, white self-existing wind. His mind became more open as he took more space from others, and spirit began to utter deep truths to him, suggesting to dive deeper and deeper into contemplation and meditation. And he began to write and find that great truths would just channel through him as he set himself with pen and paper. Number 5, which is the blue overtone night. Life began to take on a mystical element, and his dreams became vivid, magical, and prophetic, and he was encouraged to trust his intuition. Number 6, yellow rhythmic seed. He was shown that he needed to collect resources for the coming times, to collect the seeds of old, heirloom, untampered with seeds, so that vital life would not be killed through the great denial, and that the seeds could reach to their greatest and most natural potential. Through these actions, he began to connect with others that were receiving similar messages, and they began to organize their lives around collecting resources for a new time. Number 7, red resonant serpent. They became inspired by survival and learnt that as they listened to their instinct, they were coming into deeper and deeper resonance with the earth herself. And synchronicity began to guide them all to all they needed. And so their attunement to the earth and her messages became vital for their survival. So they listened deeper and more intently than ever before. And the synchronicities would inspire them deeply as they attuned to the natural rhythms of the earth and her cycles. Drawn to other species and how they enjoyed their survival, gifted them with great teachings. Number 8, white galactic world bridger. They would meet others who were also having a hard time within the great silence of the deep denial, and recognize and reach out to them, guided by the compassion of seeing others as themselves and feeling the struggle they were also facing by staying within that old way of being, as slaves to the great dishonesty. And they became initiators and opened doors for many to join them in the great change. Number 9, blue solar hand guided by the night. Knowledge was gained in the sharing, as the wounds of the great denial showed themselves, and all learnt to allow and trust the healing to occur. Accessed from the depths of each being, it was realized that all needed to face the many wounds they had incurred through colonization in order to be healed. Along with that came the realization that in order for real change to occur, the depths of denial had to be plummeted and known in order to dive deeper again to the jewels that lay buried beneath the great silence, the wounds that had long been forgotten and become a part of the accepted norm that made up what was blindly labeled society. And so they learnt to trust the healing, realizing it as a necessary part of the process of change. Number 10, yellow planetary star guided by the warrior. And so it was that each being faced fear and rose to create again, to be guided by their intelligence, to question all that got in the way of creating the most beautiful lives that they could, full of art, to stand strong for harmony reflected in the natural world as they rose from the depths, to reach to perfect what it was to create elegant and meaningful lives beyond fear, flooded with beauty, knowing themselves as artists in a time is art, reality releasing time as money. Number 11, red spectral moon. And with this, floods of tears, the storm gates open to the beauty that was possible, liberating all into reclaiming the senses, able to feel again the most subtle nuances and sensitivities to divine flow and the divine design. And so the great purification freed and flowed, reclaiming the ability to feel deeply and purely the consciousness that had so long been clouded. Number 12, white crystal dog guided by the wind. And so came the willingness to join with others from a place of love, compassion and celebration, knowing all as one, spirit guided in prayer and deep devotion, to cooperating each with the other and with spirit's calling. Great song and celebration rang throughout the land, as all joined as one, ushering in the great change into the new time, based on caring, sharing and common unity, community. Number 13, blue cosmic monkey guided by the eagle. And so a greater vision was revealed and sown and shown, and the people chose to trust in the magic of that creative vision and to understand themselves as one with the Creator in their capacity to envision and be fully present in a world full of magic. And so was the presence of inner sense and innocence seen and reclaimed, and the world was changed as they looked to the greater picture and the greater vision for all. And so this sharing is dedicated to all those beings on this planet that carry the codes of the storm in their essence, especially those born in the storm wave spell, although we all experience this cycle every 260 days, which is a 9-month cycle. Yes, those children entrapped in school systems that some within the great denial seek to medicate rather than face the truth of themselves as a cog in the machine of a world gone mad. May all those wild childs find their way to transform first themselves to becoming the world changers they are born to be, then indeed change the world. And I'd like to just say a Socrates quote here. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So with that, I will end this blue storm wave spell transmission and story, and just give thanks for Jose Arguelles, Valumvatan, Kin 11, Bolonik, Lloydina Cuellas, Kin 22, the mother and the father of these that brought these codes back to us from Palenque in the temples there. They were hidden for 1260 years. And Stephanie South, Electric Serpent, who is the carrier of the baton, who is kind of like the mother of our endeavors to share these codes with the world. There are many of us around the planet that are here to help share these codes, to help us to listen again to synchronicity and to listen to the earth and the natural time and the natural cycles that reveal messages to us each and every day. So may you find your way to the codes. I'm always here. I'm always here to share, as are many. Lawoftime.org is our mother site. Timewaves.org is my site. And there are many sites that work with the Mayan Dream Spell and the 13 Moon Calendar. So blessed be. Enjoy this next 13 days of change. And I'll see you at the beginning of the next cycle. blessed be.